Well, our next speaker really technically needs no introduction, but that's what I'm going to attempt to do anyway. About 4.5 years ago, when I was going through a job transition, my daughter, at that point 22-year-old daughter, said, "Dad, you need to get on LinkedIn." You know, I said, "What's that?" And so she helped me set up an account, but I didn't do anything with it. And there was a seminar at this business furniture store. I thought that's kind of a weird place for a seminar. And I went to it, and I heard this guy talk, and he was so animated and so excited about LinkedIn. It got me excited about LinkedIn. And I've been following him. He sends out a weekly blog. So every Sunday for the last 4.5 years, I've been getting his blog. But Wayne Breitbarth is also a former CPA, like myself. You know, we're recovering CPAs, I guess you might call it. And he has gone from, really, this is his full-time occupation now, is being involved talking to people about LinkedIn and using it. If you go on Amazon and you put in the word LinkedIn, the first thing that will come up is his book. So that says something about in terms of the following he's got nationwide in terms of knowing about LinkedIn. So we are lucky to have him come here and not just speak for 1 hour, but we're getting for 2 hours. So kind of different. Normally we have some breakout tables the second hour, but tonight we're just going to let Wayne go on and keep talking the second hour. We will take a break. I'll come back up here about the time when I want Wayne to stop talking for a little while. We'll take a 15-minute break and get cookies and coffee and water. But I'm sure Wayne won't mind if you go back and get cookies and coffee and water during his talk. So, Wayne.
All right. Hi, everybody. That was kind of you, my friend. I appreciate that. I'll tell you what. It's always great to be back at Elmbrook, and what Mike has done and the committee that leads this ministry is just heartwarming. And when I get a chance, when I get the phone call and says, "Will you help?" I said, "Yeah, I'll help." And I blocked the day off, and even if somebody calls that's going to pay me a lot of money, I say no, because I said I'm committed to Elmbrook, and they've been committed to you guys, or the you guys that have been around for the last 10 years. So I'm blessed to be here. I do have to tell you, on my way here, I do my typical prayer in my car or on the airplane when I'm going to do a job seeker event, and I just pray that nobody will be here. Right? I pray that I'll walk in the door and it'll be about 7:05, and I'll look at Charlie and say, "Did it get in the bulletin or what?" No, nobody's looking for a job anymore, Wayne. I'm sorry, I should have called you. We're fresh out of candidates, but you're here, and so it's a special night. I mean, God put every one of you here, brought me here so that we can work together. So I'm excited to be here. I would have been excited with one person, but I hope I can sort of shed some light on this space of LinkedIn for you. And yeah, Charlie mentioned I've been doing this for a long time, and now it is my full-time job. Just a month ago, I gave up my ownership and my job at the office furniture dealership, and I do this full-time now. So a month ago, I was in San Diego at a job ministry just like this. We had 150 people in San Diego at that church, and when I try to go out of town, I try to reach out to a church and say, "This may sound silly, but I'm willing to do this at your church." And you won't believe how many people are sort of skeptical, like, "What's the catch?" There's no catch. It's just what I do. Call Elmbrook. They'll tell you it's the real deal. And usually I mention Elmbrook, and then they don't even have to check, you know. How many people are in the active search right now? Like where your boss doesn't know the boss knows you're looking, or there's no boss, right? Okay. And how many people sort of in the stealth mode, right? You want something better than what you got, right? So you want to tune that up. Okay. So how many people have LinkedIn profiles? How are we doing with that? Okay. So even if you don't, you're going to learn something tonight. But basically, you really need a LinkedIn profile if you're going to find a job these days. I read a statistic just last week. 78% of the jobs are posted somewhere on LinkedIn in all the various sections. So that tells me that if you're not on LinkedIn, you're only seeing 22% of the jobs. I don't know. That's not very good odds. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me. But my story begins 5 years ago when I didn't want to be on LinkedIn. just so you know. My book says on the back, once a skeptic. That's not true. I was a lot more than a skeptic. I wasn't doing this thing. I was 50. I was convinced it was going to go away. I didn't want anything to do with the computer. I didn't want to do this stuff because my kids were doing it. I thought it was just for young people, and I was pretty sure that if I ignored it long enough, it would go away like a bellyache, right? So I just didn't want to do the dumb thing. And then because of business reasons, then I sort of jumped into it. So I share that because there's probably still a lot of you struggling with this stuff. This is not natural. This whole thing of putting your stuff out there and connecting with people on the computer, and it's very weird. Now, the 20-somethings, your kids, your grandkids, and this is not weird. It's not weird to them. It's just sort of okay. It's what we do. It's how we do meet people. It's how we communicate. Sometimes they over-communicate, in my opinion, but that's just one guy's opinion. But now LinkedIn's been around for 10 years, and there's 250 million people on LinkedIn, and 1 million new people join LinkedIn every week. 2 new people join LinkedIn every second of the day. So it's really hard to sort of say you're not going to be involved in it, especially if you're in the space you guys are in. So tonight I'm going to try to show you the best things you should be doing in your job search, all right? There's a lot of stuff I'm not going to cover tonight because I'm going to go right at the job searching thing, okay? So, and I'm going to make an assumption that you sort of have been on the site for a little bit and you know a little bit about some stuff. So I'm not going to go 101 on you. At times I might step into the 101, but for the most part I'm trying to give you the best things that you can do on LinkedIn and the kind of procedures and processes and stuff that you should be getting done. So I'm going to continue my little survey. How many people have more than 200 connections? Okay. How many people are in more than 10 groups? Okay. Everybody be looking at these hands. How many people's profiles are ranked all-star status by LinkedIn? How many don't know? I'll show you where that is. Okay. I want you to write those numbers down though, okay? 200 connections, 10 groups, all-star status. And the reason I'm having you write that down is because it's sort of the blocking and the tackling. It's what LinkedIn says, listen, if you're not going to do this to a certain level, then I'm not going to give you the benefits in the search engine and all kinds of other stuff. You're not going to do LinkedIn well with 35 connections, 1 group, and your profile simply looking like your resume. It's not going to happen. Because there's just certain things built into this thing. And you'll see why in just a second when I start doing some of the features. So I'm going to jump around a little bit, maybe, but I'll start with the first one. Profile requirements. Okay, I just put a whole bunch of things here. I'll show you where they all, and by the way, I'm going to jump into my LinkedIn profile right now. And everything you see tonight is free. All right, so let's get that out of the way. I'm on the free account. So those of you that are still on the free account, take a deep breath. You can do all this, okay? Do I think you should move to the paid account with the little briefcase or something for the job seekers? No. I think it's a waste of money, okay? People tend to go to the paid account when they're not getting anything out of the free account because they just don't know how to use the free account. All right, that's all. It's not going to really help you that much. Okay, first one, I want to make sure you guys know where this all-star status thing is. So when you go to your profile, when you are in view profile versus edit, see the difference there? We're going to go to view. We're going to get rid of that. We'll talk about endorsements later, don't worry. Everybody's dying to know about the endorsements. Right here. So this is where it is. Okay? So yours should say all-star. Now, if yours already says all-star and you're worried about that little white gap there, don't. It won't fill up. Don't write to me. Wayne, it doesn't fill up. I must have a few more things I got to do. I wish I've written to LinkedIn actually and said, listen, will you please fill that stinking circle up? I said, I'm tired of answering people's questions. It doesn't fill up. So, but if you're not all-star, I wish I could tell you exactly how to be an all-star. About 1.5 years ago, they took away these percentages. We had percentages before. And they told you the things you were missing. 5% would get you to this. You're at 95. Go do it. They came out with All-Star, and they didn't really tell us. It's like a few things at LinkedIn. Some things are magical, okay? But it's sort of this. Picture, 2 job entries, 1 educational entry, 5 skills, a summary. I think that's it. I think those are the things you need. So it's not hard stuff. It's not hard to get done. If you do the things we talk about tonight, you'll be fine if you're not there. Okay, I do want to talk about this section called skills. Okay, and I put down, you at least should have 25 there. Okay, now this is where we get these endorsements that are driving us all crazy, right? So I hate to bring this up early, but because I bring it up early, then you can just quit thinking about them. Because they are so annoying and you want to know what's going on. So I have now clicked into my profile at the edit profile page, not view, because you'll know that because you'll see all the pencils and the ads and the edits. So it's my profile, but I can change things from here. So I'm going to scroll down to this section called skills, which is where we receive endorsements, right? We get endorsements against our skills. We don't get endorsements for us. We get them for specific skills. Now, before I talk about this though, I want to still tell you recommendations are still super important. Okay? And as far as I'm concerned, they're better than these. But not according to the computer at LinkedIn. The computer at LinkedIn likes these because it's like a Facebook like and I can count how many there are, and computers count things, they don't read things. They don't go, oh, that was a wonderful 3-sentence recommendation. That trumps all those people who didn't know you who said you were good at something. Right? It doesn't do that. Computers just don't do that way. So you should still get recommendations. And if I were you in job seeking mode, I'd get at least 2 recommendations for every job you ever had, or try your darndest to do so. Why? Because 2 recommendations show up underneath each. If you ever look at a job entry, there's 2 smiling faces under each one. Now you can have 30, but they'll always show 2. So I recommend you get 2. So somebody looks at your profile and goes, oh, 5 jobs, 10 smiling faces, and a little comment about how good you are. Now you can rearrange those, by the way. So if the first one that shows up there is just your college roommate and says this guy could really drink, I would move that 1 so it doesn't show up in the 2. I bring the 2 up to be the ones that talk about how good you were on the job, okay? So you can rearrange those. You just go into your recommendations, manage, and you can move those around. Okay, so keep trying to get recommendations. Is it easy? No, you have to ask. Now, let's say 3 jobs ago, your boss is dead, whatever, and you give me that excuse, and I'll say, what about customers? What about vendors? What about coworkers? At this point, 3 jobs ago, I don't care who writes it for you. Somebody should write you one. So you get 2. Now, if somebody says, I don't know what to write, that's the best opportunity you ever heard. Right? As a matter of fact, if you want to ask for a recommendation by sending somebody an email, send them, hi, I remember you 4 years ago, boy, I had really fun working with you. I wondered if you'd write me a recommendation, and just in case you forget what I was like, here you go. It's attached. And you'll be amazed how many people will cut and paste. And it'll, and don't get all worried that's illegal. I mean, people won't put what they don't is true. I mean, but if you write it, oh yeah, she was that good. I'll put that up just like she wanted it. Boom. Okay? So do that. I mean, get recommendations are still important. So as far as these go now, let's talk about these. These skills, I want you to forget the word skills and expertise, but I want you to replace it in your mind with the word keywords. Okay? That's all this is a list of your most important keywords. Because, like a lot of things on LinkedIn, keywords are everything. And I gave you a little worksheet, and we'll talk about this throughout the night. But if you look at the very top where the bullet points are, I tell you where to put your most important keywords on your profile. And the 7th one down is skills. And what does it say next to my little entry for skills in parentheses? Will somebody yell out what it says?
Extra weighting in search algorithm.
Extra weighting in search algorithm. That means they're hot. Okay? These are hot words for you. These are words that are going to help you move up in the search when somebody's looking for accounts receivable in Milwaukee, knows how to run this certain kind of software program. Boom. You'll end up higher because you have accounts receivable and the software program in your skills. Okay? So don't argue with the fact that it's really not a skill, Wayne. It's called, what's the accounting program that everybody uses, the small, QuickBooks. I know how to run QuickBooks. QuickBooks is a great skill. Well, it's really a program. No, it's a skill, it's a keyword, you put it on there. And if you put it on there, then people can actually endorse you for that skill, and it's going to help you in the search engine. Okay? Trust me, it does. People have tested this. A person that has, if I look for a person with QuickBooks Milwaukee, and you've got 45 endorsements, and you've got 10, and all other things being equal, you'll be higher. All other things being equal, you'll be higher. So LinkedIn loves this little tool, and that's why they're driving us crazy. So just take a deep breath, realize it's a little bit silly. It's a little bit the gamification of LinkedIn, and especially those of us that are a little older think it's stupid. But I'm telling you what, the same weekend I was huffing and puffing about how stupid endorsements were, my wife looked at me and she said, listen, for 3 weeks you've been complaining about endorsements. I want you to go to your room, it's my wife, I want you to write this week's tip about endorsements. Don't come out till it's done. Because she said, because if you don't like it and are confused by it, then all the people on your mailing list will have the same issue. Figure it out. So I listened, went to my room, I wrote about skills, but that same weekend, I came out and said, honey, I understand it now, review my tip, because she's my editor. And it went out on Sunday, that Sunday. But that same weekend, it was so ironic, I got a text from my daughter, who's 25 years old, lives in Florida, works for Chico, she's in the email marketing department. And her text, by the way, she never texts her dad, right? Talks to mom all the time. I never get a text. So I get a text from my daughter, Jenna. It says, Dad, I just wanted to tell you I simply love the endorsement thing on LinkedIn. And I said, why do you like? And I took the opportunity to call my daughter. Hi, Jenna, how are you? Dad, I think it's so cool. It reminds me of Facebook like, and I don't have time to write recommendations, and I can just go on my friend's profile and go, boop, 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 and I can go to another friend and boop, 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 and it's just, I think it's the best. And I didn't have the guts to tell her that I hate it. I said, oh, I'm so glad to get your perspective, Jenna. But it is. It's a little bit generational because they grew up on Facebook and Facebook likes and, you know, sort of like networking, you know. I mean, I wonder if they really will ever know how to really network the way we know how. I pray that they will. But anyway, I don't want to get off on that tangent. So the point is, here's what you got to do with this section. You get 50 words. I want you to think of whatever keywords you've laid into this worksheet, I want you to put some of them in this section. Like I just said, QuickBooks, Excel, Microsoft Office, Word, accounts receivable, collections, right? You got to start really thinking about the keywords on your profile, because I got to tell you, the HR directors and the recruiters, that's all they use. They use the keywords to find you. They don't really look through all of the people who said they work in an office in the Milwaukee area, because there's thousands. They put in accounts receivable, they put in collections, and they're going to find the people they're going to find. So you have to really be purposeful about your keywords. And this is a wonderful section. Now, if you're not sure what to do, a couple of tips for you. When you go down here and you click Edit, notice what happened. All those skills come up now with little X's next to them. That's your opportunity to say bye-bye to basket weaving. Unless it's basket weaving because you do go to craft fairs on the weekend and it's a side job, then leave it. If it isn't and you have no idea how it got there, gone. Just hit the little X, it will go away. You'll have to stay on top of this because it's sort of like a virus. It'll just keep coming up somehow. Now, so get rid of the ones that mean nothing to you. Like even words like leadership. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know if I have leadership anymore. I think I did get rid of it finally. Nobody's going to search for leadership. I'm sorry. Especially job seekers, they should be real specific words that you think people are going to search. Nobody's going to look for a leadership guy. Okay, well, I hope I can find one here in Milwaukee. It's not going to happen. Okay? So that's one thing. Clean them up. Then try this. Start typing the word that you think are one of your skills. Look what I've done. I just started typing account. I was going to do accounting, right? And look what LinkedIn did. It said, Okay, Wayne, I see you're on the track to put accounting in. These are the best words I got for you. See them? It starts filling in these words. Those are the most searched words on LinkedIn that have the word accounting. So does that make them good? It makes them good if they apply to you, right? Doesn't make them good if it's not one of your skills or one of your expertise, okay? But to the extent they are, you grab them. Okay? One more little tip on how to handle the skills section. Go to a section that's hard to find now, but still very helpful. www.linkedin.com/skills. You're going to have to write that down. It's a separate website now. You used to be able to get through it through your profile. You can't get there anymore. This is a place, this is pretty cool. Watch this. So I'm going to put in project management because I had my friend, was it Brad? Brad was telling me he was in project management, I think. I'm going to go project management. There it is. I click on project management. It takes me to a skills page with project management. All right. There's great information here. So here's project management. You can add the skill right from here. It's got people that have project management in their profile, has companies that are related, but I love this list over here. See this list over here? That is a list of related skills. Are those good? They're good. LinkedIn's telling you these are hot words that are in that project management space. To the extent that they're yours, you go grab them. So do that for some of your keywords. Go into the skill section, type it in, see what it talks about. The other thing you'll find if you scroll down a little further on this page is it shows you groups to be in. Okay? We're going to talk about groups tonight quite a bit. How many groups can you be in on LinkedIn? What's the max? 50. Yeah, 50. Hardly any you were in 10. You ought to be in a lot more than 10. And you'll know why in a little while, and I'll show you how to turn off the emails. That's your biggest problem. It's one little setting, it'll set you free. Because being in groups is really important on LinkedIn. It helps your search ranking. People can find you in the project management groups. So why not be in all of them? Well, I don't want all the emails. Turn the emails off. People can find you. Okay? The whole idea is to be relevant with people, and the groups are going to help you. So you'll find groups that are related to this. So try this little skills page. I think it'll help you. Let's go back to the profile.
What's the website address again?
Yeah, so it is www.linkedin.com/skills. Okay. So the bottom line with this endorsement thing is, as silly as it is, it's super important. You should put a lot of great keywords in there, and you should get endorsed for the right things. Should you ask for endorsements? I probably wouldn't. But you could. Nothing stops you. Do you have to say thank you to somebody that endorses you? You don't have to. But you could. It's okay. If somebody endorses you that you know does not really know you in that vein, don't get worked up. Accept it. It's one more endorsement you don't have to track down from a person that can really endorse you for that skill. Nobody's going to go on the profile and go, hold it, I'll bet you he doesn't know her well enough to endorse her for that. Nobody does that. It's just one more in the bucket. And I'm going to leave you with this on this whole topic. Endorsements are the yelping of people. Think of them just as the yelping of people. And over time, you're going to have a whole bunch of endorsements for the right keywords, and somebody's going to land in your profile and go, I am going to call him first, him second, because he's got more endorsements. Why wouldn't I start with him? It looks like he's being yelped at a higher level than him. That's all. Simple as that. Okay? Some things you don't have to like in life, right? Some things you just got to understand how to work them. And this is one of them. You know, just like, you know, I had my frustrations with it. Okay, so let's go through the rest of these profile things. We won't take as much time. Photo's not negotiable, my friends. The last statistic I saw, 7 times more views of your profile if you have a photo. 7 times! What do you want to do with that? You want to not have a photo? So you're viewed, I mean, that's nuts. Photo's got to be current, not 20 years ago. Photo's got to be like this, not with your kids, or the grandkids, or the mountains, or your motorcycle. This. That's it. smiling face, current, right? People got to be able to see the photo, walk across the room, and introduce themselves. It's just what it's all about. We'll talk about job descriptions. Recommendations, we already talked. Endorsements, you talked about. 150 connections that you really need to have. 100, you need 200. This last thing isn't even available anymore. I got to change my outline. You're not even allowed to do that anymore. So on the profile, we'll touch on it along the way here with some of the other features. But you got to work at this profile, okay? And you got to keep these two things in mind when you work on your profile: keywords and stories. Keywords we've already talked about with that worksheet. Stories are, you've got to put your best foot forward. Okay? You should make sure that in your summary, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go to Mary. I don't know, anybody know Mary? I don't know her. I found her tonight when I was searching for good profiles for job seekers. And she got a pretty good one. So I thought I'd use hers instead of mine. Her picture could be a little better. Here's the problem with her picture. It doesn't fill up the box. You see that? And the reason it doesn't fill up the box is because it's not high def or high res. If it's not high res, it won't fill the box up. You'll know it. You better get one with more pixels, or I don't know. Ask Rick. He probably understands all that stuff, right? The picture itself is fine. I would like her to have the box filled up like most of us do. Okay? Look at her headline. See that headline? That's really a good headline. Is a headline important in a newspaper article? Of course it is. It's important on your LinkedIn profile too. She says pursuing. Some people have a hang up with that. They go, I don't want to tell the world I'm looking. Well, if you're not officially looking, of course not. But if you raised your hand earlier when I said you're officially looking, you should say you're pursuing. So that your friends know that you're looking all the time, so that if they run into something, they see your headline and go, oh my gosh, I was supposed to call Ellen about that job I heard about. Got to keep reminding people, pursuing. And look, she's got nice headlines, nice keywords in here. Project team, volunteer manager, healthcare. It's a great headline for a job seeker. It's a home run. Let's go down to her summary. Also pretty good. Now, don't be afraid to write her name down. And you might go look at her profile. If you want to try to connect with her, send her a note. We looked at your profile all night long at Elmbrook. You were the most popular gal in the room. Would you like to connect? That's what I do. Okay, thank you for visiting my profile. I sort of like that. I think that's friendly. I'm in the process of changing careers, blah, blah, blah. This is what I've done. This is what I want to do. So what she's done is a good job of going, if you look down there, there's all my job experience. That's what I've done. But I'm going to tell you where I'm going. I'm going here. Please, resumes go that way, don't they? For the most part, backwards. And we need that because it at least establishes what we've been doing and all that. But more important than that is this, especially if you're taking a twist in the road. If you're going to take a twist in the road, in your summary you should say, I've done this for so many years, I've loved this and loved that, but I've decided to go this way with my new job that I'm looking for, doing this, this, and this, and this. Those will all be keywords, of course. And then you'll say, the reason I think I'm qualified to do this new job is because back in this job I was good at this and this job. And so really I'm fine. Don't worry. I got a handle. I'm not trying to go right when I got no skills for going right. I'm all good. Don't you agree? It's a cup of coffee. The summary is meant to be a cup of coffee with somebody. Write it in the first person. Friendly, right? Put it in Word, spell check it, paste it. 2,000 characters. I'd use them all here. I'd use them all. Why? Because it's so high up on your profile. People see the face, they see the headline, boom, summary. Cup of coffee, what are you going to do with me? All you're going to do is regurgitate a bunch of stuff that's way down in the bottom? Ugh. How are you? Okay, so she's got a nice summary. Look at it. Look what else she did. I like this. And she got this from me. I know she did. I should have patented this. She wrote specialties, keywords, and listed a whole bunch of keywords with commas in between. Right there. She got that from me. I know it. I am going to ask her. We've met. I know we have. We're first level connection. I know that. Okay, what else do I like about her profile? I like the fact that when I scroll down to what we have in common, I see a whole bunch of stuff. I see that we have these skills the same. I see that we're in these groups together. I see that we have this location, and I see that we both like hiking. Now, how do you get all those little boxes to pop up? You got to have stuff in those sections. So when it comes to the interest section, I recommend that you put some stuff in there. Now, it's not Facebook. Okay, you don't want any deep, dark secrets or any of that stuff. I want you to list a few things of interest with commas in between, things that you think people would find interesting. Reading, scuba diving, church, all that. You could put Elmbrook Church. Those could be your interests. And when that happens, if you and I have the same interest, that's going to happen right there. Little box is going to pop up and say, hey, you and she are both hikers. That's really helped me. And that will help you in an interview too. You wait and see. If you, by the way, always look at a profile before you go into an interview. Even have it in your portfolio. Print it. Review the person's, don't go into that room without looking at their whole profile, seeing if you got anything in common, so that you can't go in there with a strategy and a plan. You go, I'm talking to this lady about hiking. Somewhere along the way, we are going to start talking about hiking. And then it's not an interview anymore because you're talking about hiking and she's a hiker and you're a hiker, right? But those things only pop up when you have some things in common. So more groups, the more you might have a circle for groups, right? People like to see what's in common. It's icebreaker stuff, right? So I like that. And here, look, take a look at what she's got going on here on her profile. I could give her such a big hug. See her current job experience? What's going on with these first? She's looking for a job, right? We saw that. But what does she have right here? What are her first 3 current job entries? Somebody yell it out.
Volunteer.
Bingo! So she's showing the world, I ain't sitting around watching soap operas. I'm out there helping the world while I'm looking for my job. Now, she wants a job in nonprofits, so that's good for her too. She's getting a double whammy out of that deal. But the bottom line is, I like when people say, I'm in a job search, but at the same time, I'm volunteering for the Crossroads Ministry in Elmbrook. I would do that, because I think that shows that you're just not sitting letting moss grow under your feet. You're doing something. Okay, so I'm going to get off her profile, but check it out. I'll put her name back up so you can connect with her and tell her how nice it was that she's got 251 connections, so she might be able to help you. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to go to number 2. Number 2, find and connect with people at your target companies and departments. Okay, let's do that. Let's do a little game, a little role playing. Okay, let's say we went over here to the Jobs tab. Okay, went to the Jobs tab. You go to the Jobs tab and you look for jobs on LinkedIn. Click Jobs, you get here. I push Advanced Search, and I'm going to look for, let's look for accounting. Well, let's look for engineering. We'll look for engineering jobs in Milwaukee, push the search button. Okay, so there are 408 jobs in Milwaukee that have the word engineering posted on LinkedIn. All of these job posts are engineering jobs that a company has spent about $200 a month to post. This is where companies are posting their jobs. So when it says 78% of the jobs are on LinkedIn, a lot of them are right here. So a lot of companies are moving their money from Career Builders and Monster and MilwaukeeJobs.com, and they're spending it with LinkedIn. Why? Because we're there. Because all of us are there. They know it's a hotter space. So let's take a look at one of these. So here's an engineering leader at Actuant. Click that one on. Just take a look at what's going on with the job posting. And I'm really skipping to one of my later points, but we're going to do number 2 as I look at this job a little bit. You can apply right from this page, usually. Oops, that didn't come up very nice, did it? Let's try it again. How many people have used the job feature on LinkedIn before, where we're at? I mean, you all ought to be raising your hand. This one's a laydown. You know, there's 400 engineering jobs. You can put electrical engineer if you want that or whatever. So here's a job. You can apply right from here. Now look at this. Look what it says here. Contact the job poster. It's Sue Schmid. What can I do from here? I can go like this. Sue Schmid. Okay, here's Sue Schmid. She's the actual person that called up LinkedIn and said, can you post this job for us? Here's my credit card. Okay? What degree is Sue Schmid for me? And who can see it in the front? Second. Does that mean I know her? Do I know her? No. But what do I have? I've only got 15 friends that know her. 15 friends that know this lady that actually posts a job. You think I can try to get somebody in there to say something nice about me to her? I think I can. I got 15 people. Hi, Greg. How you doing? Great, Wayne. What's up? How well you know Sue from what's it called? Assurant? Assurant. Oh, I don't know her. What do you mean you don't know her? She's in your LinkedIn. I know, but I don't know everybody. Bye. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? Great. You know this guy? Yeah, I do. How can you help me? You know how to help me? I just applied for a job there. She's your friend. I want you to tell her how good I am. Will you? Sure. She's my friend. I'd love you to have a job there. It's great. That's what you do. Does that sound too aggressive? If it is, you're never going to find a job. I'm sorry. It's just laying out there for you to call your friend who knows the person that actually posted the job. I mean, what else you got to do? You get a hold of this person. That's the beauty of LinkedIn, is you open these doors and find out who knows who, okay? That's why the tool exists. Think about it. That's why they have the 1, 2, 3 degrees. Let's go back to the posting. It also, you come down here, it'll show you the actual people you know that work at Actuant. If you have any direct hits. I got one, Shane. Now, take a look at this. See this skill section on this job posting? What might you find in there?
Keywords.
Hello. Yeah, that's what you're going to find. Some of these. And if you want this job and you have some of these ought to be here and some of these ought to be on your profile. They're just laying it all out there for you. I can tell you, they are going to search by Pro-E. I have no idea what it is. 3D software. I know they're going to search by that. Right? That's what they're going to use. That the HR person at Pro-E, Milwaukee, electrical engineer. Okay? That's why you got to... All this stuff just sort of lays out there for you. It's just nobody gives you the roadmap to do it, right? Hopefully we're getting some of that done tonight. Okay. So let's do this. Let's take one more step here. Actuant, right? Help me with this. Advanced. I'm going to search. I'm going to look for all 3 degrees. I'm going to go to Actuant. How do you spell it? A-S-C...
No, A-C-T.
A-C-T-U-A-N-T? Is that it? Okay.
No, that's correct.
That's correct? Okay. And I'm going to put HR or human resources. All right. Actuant, current. I'm going to put Milwaukee down because I don't really want to move, so I don't. And it was a Milwaukee job I applied for, and I hit search. Okay, 20 people. 20 people are on LinkedIn. They're in the HR department at Actuant. What are you going to do with this? Just going to sit here and say there's 20 people? Boy, if I could only meet some of those. Who do you know? That's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to look at Sherry. Does anybody like Sherry's title? Look at it. So what does it say, you guys in the front? Do you think you get any higher at Actuant in HR?
No.
No, I doubt there's a president of HR. She's the top stinking dog. So she didn't post a job. We know who posted the job. It was the other lady, right? The other lady works for her. But look at what's going on here. I got 8 friends. I got 8 friends that know the very top HR person at Actuant. I'm telling you, I'm going to get my name rolling over there. Is that too aggressive? Charlie, is that too aggressive? Charlie says it's too aggressive.
Not in today's.
Support me, my friend. Not in today's market. That's exactly right.
You know, maybe 5 or 10 years ago it might have been, but not in today's market.
Not in today's market.
It's cutthroat.
Did you get there from within the job search? You went to advanced?
Yeah. So I figured out the company name, and I applied there, and then I went to advanced, and on advanced I put company name current, And then in title, I put HR, or in caps, Human Resources in quotes, Milwaukee, push the button. Okay? That advanced search that I just showed you, you should be working that thing hard every day. It is the key to LinkedIn. Using the search terms to find the exact people that you would die to have a meeting with, right? That's what this is. Now, here's what's going to happen to you with your old 35 connections you got. You're going to do this search. You're going to go home and do the search, and you're still going to get 20. That's a finite number. That will not change. I don't care how many connections you got. But you know what's going to happen? You ain't going to see as many smiling faces. And you're not going to see as many full profiles as I am. Why?
Don't know as many.
No, sure.
Because you only get to see whose profiles.
The ones you're connecting with.
2.
And
They're second.
first and second, you get to see full profiles. Third degree, you get to see a little bit of something. And you get to see a little bit of something with people that you're in a what with. Hello? Second time I mentioned group today, isn't it? So, another reason to be in groups, you're going to see a little bit. Now here's what, there's a little workaround for this. Third degree, you're going to see Brendan H., right? That's what it'll say. Brendan H., and it'll have his headline. But you look at his profile and say, nah, 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 you got to pay to see me. Or you got to have a friend at least. You don't? Too bad. So sad. Here's what you do. Go to Google. Type in Brendan H. Then cut and paste his exact headline in Google. One Google box, right? Brendan H. HR MDP at Actuate. Push the Google search button. Guess what's going to come up? His last name. Now go back to advanced search. First name Brandon. Second name Harper. Actuant. Push the button. Full profiles. Full profiles. It's a little bit of a workaround. Okay? It's a little bit of a workaround. Google will let you do a lot of stuff. So try to Google, try to use information you got on Google from somebody's profile. And if there's enough there, it'll bring you the person up. And then when you do that LinkedIn thing and put the 3 things in, LinkedIn goes, you must know this person better than you're telling me. Here they are. That's all I can figure out. I don't know why else it happens. Okay, so this is what you ought to be doing. After you apply for a job, my friends, you get on your knees and you pray, and the second thing you do this. And the other thing, you do this. Besides HR, this is an engineering job, right? I go over here like this. Engineering. Current. Search. There's 3. Probably did something wrong. Point is this. I want you to look at these engineers. I want you to see if you have a friend that works there. At least it's in the same cubicle area you want to work in. You ought to work the HR department. You ought to work the department you want to work in. Because if you got a friend, you go, hey, you're in the engineering department, I just applied. I know, I saw the job postings. Well, I applied. You know me, can't you help me? Yeah, I'll help you. Good. Tell your boss I'm stinking great. And he ought to interview me. That's all. Your friends want to help you if you tell. They don't have time to worry about your job search. But if you sit down and say, here's the situation, friend. I applied. You work there. You know the boss. Give me a little support on this baby. Okay? All right. That's what this step is. Connect with people at your target companies and department. I can tell you, I don't know if it's 1 year ago or 2 years ago. Charlie might remember. But Maris, what's his first name? He works at MRA. I'll remember it in a second. Sat over there. And I was talking to him about status updates and this very point. And he wanted to be a trainer. He's a trainer. And he knew that MRA had a lot of training positions. So he started with connecting with people at the MRA out in Pewaukee. And once he's connected, he continued to post status updates about the training field and things he's reading about training. And a job posted, this was November, in February. He had connected with 4 or 5 people at MRA. So when his job application came in, guess what? The whole place was abuzz with this guy. Oh, he applied. I know him. He's really good. He's only been really good because they were connected and his status updates come out. And his face was up there all the time with these 7 or 8 people. Everybody acted like they were college friends or something. Point was, he was sort of in their space, right? And online space, that means different things these days, right? He was sort of around all the time. Not to the annoying level, but he's posting things about smart training articles and all this. So when the job finally posted, people just said, we should hire this guy. My gosh, look at him. And a whole bunch of people said they liked him. Okay, so that's what that step is. There is nothing wrong with you reaching out to people that work at the target companies you have and asking some people to connect. Even if they're not in the exact right company, because even if they're not, department, even if they're not in the exact right department, but you have a friend that works at that company, and you never connected with them, but you found them because you did a company search and they work, and you added them. Do you think that you've added some more second degrees from that? A ton, right? Because who do people connect with? They connect with their coworkers. So when your friend goes, hi, I'm in the accounting department, I doubt I can help you, it's an engineering position, that you probably picked up second degree engineers. Just like that. Okay? And so you're sort of at least in the building, aren't you? You got yourself a mole. Yeah? You're at least in the space. You can start working it a little bit, right? But it all starts with going back to the connection thing and going, I'm a job seeker. These are the 15 companies I'd like to look for. I'm going to do a search and see if any of my friends work at those 15 companies. I'm going to connect with every stinking one of them. And my connection request is going to say this. Hi, friend. I remember meeting you at Elmbrook a while ago. I see you work at Actuant. I applied for a job there. I'd like to talk to you about the job someday. In the meantime, I'd be honored to connect with you on LinkedIn or something like that. And what's the worst thing the person could say to you? Right. They could say, no, it's not a big deal. Right? For whatever reason, they say no. So what? So what? These are the tools you got to use. And if they're feeling a little bit aggressive to you, you're going to have to just talk to a friend. Talk to a friend at the table who says, it really isn't that aggressive. And all these meeting techniques that I'm just telling you, I know for sure that if you just applied for a job at Actuant and you walked out that door and you bump into a person tonight and you go, excuse me, and you see a name tag on them because they're here for the job fair or whatever, Actuant, recruiter, you would be thrilled, wouldn't you? Total stranger, you go, oh my gosh, you work at Actuant? Yeah. Got a minute? I just applied at your place and anything I needed. Right, you would do that. But online, we think it's weird. That sounds weird. Bump into them. Make the bump in or turn into a connection. It might turn out to be really nice for you. I don't know. But you need to be just a little bit more aggressive on the connections than you're probably being in the space you're in. Okay? And I think we're going to take a break. Right?
Is this a good time?
Yes. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. 10 minutes, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
I will sell my book, by the way. If you don't have my book,